Hola, ¿cómo estás? I don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish. I speak English. Let's just get to it. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. I say this every single day. Let's get to it. This is gonna be a little bit shorter video today. June was not a heavy month for me at all. This was zero manga that I read. Yeah, let's just get to it. The first volume that I read this month, and a lot of these volumes I've talked about in other videos, just because it was kind of a while. It was like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not going to be talking about them that much. And the first volume I have is Pandora Hearts. This was so okay. This is so nothing to me. None of the characters were interesting. I don't really care about the world. Just nothing really interests me that much. And the fact that there's 23 volumes of this, just I just didn't care at all. It was a 5 out of 10 to me. So I am actually dropping the series. I'm not going to continue collecting it. Eventually, if I get to a point where I have just so much shit, I have so much series, I might revisit it. But right now, there's just no reason for me to keep this. So I'm probably gonna sell it, give it away to someone who actually wants to read it. Next, I have, and this is a big step up in quality, but I have Bladed the Immortal, Volume 1. That is it. This was okay. This was actually pretty good. The art is incredible. It's so easy to read, so fast paced. The fight scenes are incredible. The art is fantastic. It is just my style. It's Vagabond, but it's gonna sound bad. It's Vagabond but worse. Honestly, it's like Vagabond but worse. But that is a lot to say because Vagabond is one of the best looking manga of all time, in my opinion. Now, is this actually good though? Story-wise, I don't really know. It was more front and back. The first part and the third part were kind of boring to me, honestly. But the middle part, I actually really enjoyed. I think until the two main characters actually get together and start traveling with each other, it actually starts to pick up pace. Actually starts to get a lot more interesting. And I am going to continue this series. I have heard it gets a lot better later on. Which I'm excited about. I would love, and the spines look incredible too. That is actually, usually that is sometimes the big decider. Do I continue a series? Do I not continue a series? All right. Next, I have the first 3 volumes of the Apothecary Diaries. I really enjoyed this. I enjoy the main character. I enjoy the premise of her kind of be a poison taster and it's kind of detective. Poison detective. I really like this guy. I forgot his name. He's the secondary main character. I really like their dynamic. There's not really a lot to talk about with this. Again, I've talked about it a lot on other videos. If you really want my opinion, you can go see those. But yeah, I honestly just read, in my opinion, better stuff and stuff I enjoy more than this. But I am going to continue picking up the series, and I do see it getting a lot better. And it's gotten a lot of love recently because anime and other people talking about it. So, I've heard a lot more about it than, what I think of, which is I'm excited for. I do want to continue reading it. Next, I have 3 volumes of Hunter x Hunter, the 11, 12, and 13. This story is just really good. I am loving York New. This is a huge step in quality from the first arc. The first arc was good. I thought it was a 7 out of 10. But this is an 8. I don't know about a 9, but high 8 in my opinion. This was an insane arc. There's just so many moving parts, so many different things happening, so many different characters that I just fell in love with just based off their design. That is crazy to me. So many different jobs and roles. The world building is incredible. There's so many different pieces and parts. I honestly could not the only thing that is holding this manga back is the art. The art is I've said the art is good sometimes. It definitely is because it catches you off guard so many times, especially when Hisoka is in the first arc, the what is it called? The Hunter exams. When Hisoka is the main villain of that arc, the art is incredible because the art is super simple. You turn the page and Hisoka's ugly ass, detailed ass faces right there, and it like scares you a little bit. You literally get a jump scare in manga, but Crollo isn't really like that, and it's not as unique and as nuanced as not really nuanced, but it's just not as unique as it was before. It's not anything to write home about, but it is still good. And there's so many parts that are just so enjoyable, so many callbacks. It really does it feels like a One Piece arc, honestly. It just feels like such a fleshed out, continuous linear story between all these different characters. Next, I have another 2 volumes I've talked about a lot. Metalist, volumes 1 and 2. I love this manga. It is probably going to be my new favorite sports series, besides Blue Lock. I said new, so that doesn't count Haikyuu. And the box was already completed, even though volumes are coming out. And Real is getting chapters, but it probably won't come. It's like 5th, okay? It's like 5th, but it is still incredible. There's surprisingly a lot of arcs completed and arcs continuing in just these 2 volumes. It does a great job at keeping you attached to these characters just so early on. This main girl right here, I have a big problem with just kids in anime and manga because they don't act like actual kids or actual like toddlers or whatever. Like, she's like 9 or 10 in this, and she acts like a 9 or 10-year-old. Like, she's stubborn, and she's stupid, and she doesn't want to work hard, and she's weird and quirky and all this other stuff. She feels like a real 10-year-old. But she has enough likability to carry this series with this other guy, the coach, who is so funny, so charismatic, has all these other contributes, and they complement each other really, really well. And they parallel really well with the rest of the cast. Like, these 2 right here, I'm guessing, are like the 2 main like antagonists or villains or whatever. Usually not villains in sports series, but the 2 antagonists. And they're both also incredible. They parallel and foil the 2 main characters very well. Also, another thing that's great about the series is the expressions and the art. When you see a character feel an expression, you feel it too. Like, even the small little panels, it uses such little detail, but also like so much detail that it almost, I don't know how to explain it. It almost makes these characters feel more alive and feel more dynamic and punctual. That's the word I'm looking for, punctual. And it does really well with just making you care about these characters. There's a lot of desperation in this series as well, which is great as well. Again, this is like not my favorite. It has like its source of problems. One, I just don't think ice skating, I don't think they're explaining ice skating like incredibly well, but it's the first 2 volumes. I can't complain. I'm not going to say Haikyuu did volleyball perfectly for the first 2 volumes. You really have to get into Haikyuu for a while to actually understand what is going on. But I think Haikyuu does that perfectly. Like, it just jumps you into volleyball and has you learn with the main characters. And it does it so well where even though, like, I know nothing about volleyball, or I knew nothing about volleyball, and some of my friends that I gave it to and some other people I gave it to knew nothing about volleyball, later in the series, like different things will happen or different moves will happen, and you understand the plays now, and you're like, fuck, why did they not freaking dive receive that fucking ball or some shit? It is just so incredible that it can immerse you in that series, and that's something I am missing from Metalist, at least in the sports side. But everything else is really great. I don't really have any complaints. Alright, after that, we have not a manga, but if you didn't see my DC Compact Comics video, you're in for a shock. It is Batman: The Court of Owls saga. This is a comic book, full colored comic book. Yeah, this was incredible. This was really, really good. I was so surprised by how well they characterized Bruce Wayne / Batman, how well they characterized Gotham, all its villains, the Owl family in this story, just so quickly. In the first, couple pages, there's this monologue by Batman talking about what, Gotham is, and it's done so well, and it really pertains to the themes of this story about just how complex the city and that's not a theme per se, but just what the story is about. and it is like so incredible. The art is so good. Like, it looks so good. It's so dynamic, so fluid. Batman is so interesting in this. He's done really, really well. Really everything else is also good too. There's a scene where he's like captured by the owl people or whatever, and he's just trying to make his way out, and you can see him slowly descend into madness upon madness upon madness as he's realizing these secrets he thought were either unsolvable or he thought like completely differently for his entire life. And it is so good, so incredible. It's really a story about expectations at the end of the day as well. My one problem with this, I have other problems, but this is my one main problem, is I wish the story was longer. There, at the climax of the story, it's all about how the Owl family is going to take back Gotham and take it over again. And it just doesn't feel like they do. We get tiny little snippets, but it's mostly takes place in like the Bruce Wayne mansion, and it's just Batman fighting people in his mansion. I wish we got to see like all the other Bat family members fighting Owl people outside of the city, and I wish they also got their little moments to see just how much of a disaster this is and how much destruction and mayhem and all this, how much of that there is. But I still think it's done like very well, and the climax is really good, and the ending is also really good. Talking about how Batman's going to be watching Gotham or whatever for a while or something. I don't know about the ending. But yeah, this was just amazing Batman content in my opinion. All right, next, after that, I have 2 more series. The next series is a finished story. You probably saw it in the thumbnail. I know you saw it in the thumbnail. And it is Death Note. I have the last 3 volumes. I read them. I think most people know actually, you probably don't know how I feel about Death Note. It's incredible, but I do want to say I liked Nier and Mellow. I know, unpopular opinion, I actually really enjoyed them. Not more than L, obviously. I do think it takes a dip in quality, but it is still incredible Death Note. And I do like, a lot of people don't talk about this, but I do like when it actually shows, the second part of the series actually shows Light Yagami having problems with his intelligence, because he's not perfect. He's not perfect, intelligent, smart mastermind. I see everyone make him out to be. But I do like that he has flaws in his thinking, he's overconfident. And then when he actually is made chief of the police department, it's almost as if he has too much power and he doesn't really know what to do with it. And it's done really, really well, where he's easily outsmarted just because he doesn't know how to use this team properly, and it is one of his big weak points. I actually think that's done really well. I don't think it gets enough credit. And I do like the ending. It is very the ending is very oh, I did this because I knew you would do that. And then the other guy goes, I knew you would do that because you knew I would do this, so I did that. It's very playground shenanigans, but it is still done really well. And I love the ending scene with Light. How he gets caught. It's one of my favorite scenes in all of manga. It is so incredible. So incredibly written. So many different callbacks. So many arcs completed. Matsuya shooting Light. He's the actual one that gets the nail in the coffin. Even though he's been played around for so long. And he's been made fun of for so long. Light Yagami, as he's about to die, asking for help from Misa and, the other girl, I forgot her name. Just saying that even though he disrespected these women so much, he's just getting so desperate. He's calling for people that he once considered idiots and people, can't do anything for themselves or whatever. Just so many different things so many different arcs that are completed in this one moment. And it's done so incredibly well. It reminds me, I can't believe I'm saying this. It reminds me of the scene where Walter White he tries to get the money or something. He tries to get money, and then he's but Skylar goes, he's Skylar, where's the money? And Skylar goes, I gave it to Ted. And he starts laughing. It actually reminded me of that scene. I'm being 100%. And Breaking Bad is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, like, it actually reminds me of that scene. It's just done so incredibly well. But I will say it definitely does take a dip in quality. Near and Mellow. It definitely does take a dip in quality. I won't say that. They're just not as compelling as L was. And just how good that duality was and how good that cat and mouse game was. Alright. After that, we have one final volume. And that volume is... you might know what this is. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. Probably top 15. Maybe top... I don't know. We'll see. Volume 14 is on 100. First off, look at this cover, bro. Look, they got married, bro. That's so fucking cute. Okay. Second off, this volume was so damn good. It's one of my favorite volumes of the series. Getting to see Kencho's backstory and his storyline and just his family and stuff is so good. It just falls in line with his character so much. I really hope him and this girl get together. I don't even know the age difference between them, but I hope they get together, or at least just become the greatest friends of all time. Their dynamic is so good. This story is also incredibly goofy. Like, we get to see Kencho go to, like, his, like, grandfather's grave, and it's so sad. I actually shed tears during this volume, but it's, like, so incredibly sad, and he's coming to see him, and he's talking to his dead grandfather by his grave. And then zombies start coming in, and the girl's just like, wait a minute, I know this game. It's Pac-Man! And they just start playing Pac-Man in the graveyard. It's so goddamn funny. It's just incredible. And I really do want to see more of, she's not on the cover, but more of the new girl who's like her blood is like not zombie prone or whatever. What the hell is happening to my hair? You can't tell I got a haircut, but I don't know what's happening with this shit. Not prone to like zombies and shit. It's just done like so damn well. I gotta be honest. It is really, really good. And I honestly wish, I know this is kind of a crazy thing to say, I wish Kencho's family was dead. I honestly wish, it would have just made for better writing in my opinion, but I get it. We can't have these characters be sad for too long because this is a comedy manga. So I 100% get it. But yeah, Zom 100 has honestly just been on a really good, like, line of being good. Like, it has, like, a really good line of just manga volumes that are incredible. I was getting a little bit worried because I didn't really like volumes 9, 10, and even a little bit of 11. I liked them, but just not as much as the rest of the series, but it is back to form, and I know I can trust this author because this author is incredible in his works. So yeah, that was the manga log. I said this was going to be a shorter video. Shit's still 18 minutes. Whatever. See you later. Next video, maybe, probably another manga log, honestly, for July. Or I'll do a review. I'll do a discussion video. Or I'll do a manga haul. I'm not doing a manga collection. You need to get to 600 subscribers for that. You need to get... Call your friends. Make sure that they subscribe. So yeah, that is the end of the video. Yeah, bye. I don't really have much to say back.